Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Tales from the Fandom. It is the month of February of 2022. I still don't know how it's 2022. My brain still thinks it's 2020, but yet here we are, and I have a wonderful guest that I met on Instagram, and I've been able to interact with her and really dig the work that she puts out in the cosplay world. And I have Melinda, but you might know her on Instagram as SpiderEyez. Melinda, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It is my pleasure. I'm so happy that you said yes. I was like, because I've been following you and I've been looking at your stuff, and it's like, okay, it's time to reach out and find some new people to invite, and you said yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is a big huge deal for me actually. This is exciting. I've never done something like this before. I think technically, like about 2 weeks ago, I got something similar, and that was like, I was like, oh, what are all these things coming up? But I am so excited to be here, and I appreciate the cosplays that you see of me on Instagram.
Yeah, you do some great work. I like. I mean, you not only do the work. I think you do the photo editing, right? Like yourself.
Yes, I have discovered the world of PixArt, and let me tell you, that has really increased the photography, if you will, of these pictures. PixArt has been my saving grace once I figured out the cutout feature.
What, you mean you don't want to show people like your doors and walls and stuff?
You got me there.
But yeah, you do some wonderful work. I know that one of my favorites that you do is Zelda, or not? Is it Zelda? Link? I
Oh
think it's
yes.
Link.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I Legend of Zelda is one of my favorites. I must admit I have so many favorites of all parts of fandoms. But yes, Zelda, I was so happy to do Link, Breath of the Wild, and especially now that Breath of the Wild 2 has been announced. So that's pretty exciting.
hmm Yeah, when you sent over your thing, it's always funny because sometimes I get like just a few answers on the note, like the note of like, oh, what are your favorite fandoms, stuff like that. Sometimes people send me, you know, a few. Sometimes people send me like pages of like dissertations sometimes of what they love, and it's like, okay, it's hard to choose and narrow down, but we've got some topics narrowed down for today, that we're going to talk about. And the first one is an anime that I only know through people cosplaying the characters, and I've never watched it. So you're gonna educate me and hopefully people that are listening to the podcast all about Demon Slayer.
Oh yes, Demon Slayer. It's first of all, as I'm sure a lot of people have stated this already, the animation is beautiful. The plot itself is really, I mean, some people can probably argue that it's kind of been done before. However, the protagonist is more of a different character than the usual shonen protagonist of anime. And I know it's a shonen anime. It's geared towards like the younger audiences and all, and more of an action, and it very is action anime. But it's so good because I really love the protagonist, Tanjiro. He's a heartwarming character. He has so much compassion. He cares about his family a lot. He cares especially about his sister. And the whole premise of this anime is basically, I mean, it's kind of in the title, Demon Slayer. He becomes a demon slayer because something horrific happened to his family. I kind of want to say it, but then I don't know if people, I mean, I'm sure everybody has seen it at this point, but I don't know if people don't know the whole thing about it, because it's revealed in an instant in the first episode about what happens to his family. And in the process, his sister gets turned into a demon, and then he basically trains his way to become a demon slayer and gets incorporated by the Demon Corps. And the whole season 1 was basically the introduction to all that in his training and like what his sister is, as well as him actually going through with this. And along the way, he shows sympathy towards the demons themselves. They've done these horrible things, and even at that point, he does not lose himself and his humanity and everything that he's, been taught, I'm assuming, through his childhood. And he still says and still has compassion to them when they're dying. He still says, please, I hope you have a better afterlife, and if you're reborn, be reborn as a better person, and I am so sorry this happened to you. Like, that's basically what he does. And what my point in all this is that it is so refreshing to see protagonist in this genre of anime in which he is not quote unquote annoying, not like yelling all the time, not rude or inconsiderate to others. He basically is a caring person all this time, and he's strong-willed as well. I mean, when he sees something go wrong, he will call that person out on it. He's demonstrated a couple times in the first season. But yeah, he's such a heartwarming character. I totally love him. And not like the other characters are great too, because they do like each have their own personalities, and it just meshes so well. I just love it. I love it.
That is really good to hear, because like I said, I've only seen Demon Slayer through people's cosplays. I've not seen like the anime. I've never watched it. I was like, what is all this popping up? Like, who are these characters that people are cosplaying now?
Oh yeah, it's and I'm sure you're probably seeing more pop up now, because season 2 was just released, and everybody, the whole fandom is so excited, myself included. But it's exciting to see. I do recommend it. The manga too was also like the full box set and everything was released. I may or may not have purchased it, and am waiting for it to get here.
I guess you'll find out if you have purchased it if it shows up.
Exactly.
And then you'll know, whoops, I accidentally slipped on the order button.
Exactly.
All right, so one of the characters that I'm interested in on Demon Slayer is one I see all the time popping up on Instagram and cosplay, and that's Nezuko. She wears like the pink yukata or kimono, but she's got the green thing in her mouth.
Oh yes, yeah. I've seen, a lot of people were like, what's that? What's going on there? Nezuko is actually the sister to Tanjiro. So she is the one that actually got turned into a demon. And all of this is like all in episode 1, season 1. It lays it all out in front of you. She's the one that gets turned into a demon. She's also the only survivor of the family. And Tanjiro sees this and, wants to save her. So he actually tries to take her to a doctor. And along the way, another demon slayer comes out of nowhere and actually tries to kill Nezuko and explains to Tanjiro how she's a demon and she has to die. And Tanjiro states like she's never hurt anyone. This wasn't her fault. She's not going to kill, anyone. And the demon slayer kind of insists, stating how, she's going to eventually kill anyway. And right when he's about to, go after Tanjiro because he's trying to protect Nezuko, Nezuko actually starts protecting Tanjiro. So the demon slayer kind of sees this and is like, oh my gosh, that's never happened before. And he actually knocks her out and knocks Tanjiro out. And he's the one that gives Nezuko the bamboo stick to prevent her from biting people and to hide the fact that she's a demon. And that's why she's got that in her mouth.
It always, like, whenever I see it, I'm like, doesn't that make people drool? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, like, how people make it, or if they keep it in their mouth, or if it's like just whatever. But it's always something where I'm like, I don't know if I could walk around,
Oh
a
boy,
convention with
yes.
that.
I feel as a cosplayer. As a cosplayer, we will do what we have to. I believe that there's also been some versions of that actually where it's like kind of an indentation outwards so that it gives the illusion that you're actually like that's in your mouth, but the other part is in your mouth, and you're just biting down, or you just have that in there, which makes it a little more comfortable, I believe. Um,
Okay.
yeah, to make it more comfortable and also better, right? But yeah, like as a cosplayer, a lot of those get, whew, oh yeah, that takes a toll.
Now, is Tanjiro, because I know you cosplay Tanjiro.
Yes.
Um, is he your favorite character in the show?
I gotta say, I do love Tanjiro a lot. I'd say he's my favorite, followed by Giyu, which is the demon slayer actually that comes to try to kill Nezuko in the first episode. Um, I know, right? It's hard. I like stating how this is probably so cliche or like, oh my gosh. I kind of state it to myself many times. I don't think I've actually said this to anyone, but I feel like I tend to like the main characters a lot. I fall into that cliche, but only because in this case, like I really do like Tanjiro a lot because of what I stated earlier. He's such a good protagonist, and he's such a good, caring person. He will try everything he can to prevent anything bad from happening. And it's kind of rare to see that in an action anime or in an action like in anything, honestly. But I do feel like we're getting to that point in media where we are showcasing characters that are compassionate and never lose that part of their humanity and what makes them them in media. And I am really happy to see that because I'd say like another similar character to Tanjiro would be from another anime, My Hero Academia, Deku.
Okay.
Yeah, he's basically like Tanjiro. He's caring. He's sympathetic. He cares for people. He wants the best for people, but he will get the job done if he needs to, And I'm really glad to see that in a lot of this shonen anime, where the main characters are not loud, rude, putting everybody down, never listening to anybody, and when they're wrong, they won't admit it. It's great to see this, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely, because I watched anime. I've been out of anime for a little bit, but back when I was watching anime, a lot of the male characters were very loud or abrasive, or
Oh, yes.
characters was like, man, I like the show, but I don't really like you. Like, let me see
Yeah,
those background characters over there.
definitely a lot of that, and exactly like I think the one that comes to mind is, not gonna lie, I love him, Naruto, but Naruto.
That was in my head. I was like, see, this is why I like Shikamaru or Hinata. Like
Oh yeah.
those characters, like they're nice and quiet, they're chill, but they do what they need to do. Naruto and Sasuke, and Sakura, you can like go somewhere else. Like you're not the team I want to watch.
That's fair. A lot of people have said that over the years. A lot of people were like, I do not really like them. I like this team more. Why can't we see them more? And that's totally valid. I could see that because, I'm pretty sure I've had my fill growing up in school and, elementary school, middle, high school. I was stuck with, oh boy, loud, annoying, aggressive, abrasive people in the class. And I mean, I know it's like at that age, and it's just, but it gets so old so fast. So I totally understand. And with this new, push, I think for like the anime today, it's so great to see these characters, you know, showing their vulnerability and able to cry, and that's another topic too. Like I like them crying and it, you know, saying that it's okay to cry. You know, it's okay to cry, but you can also you know, let that all out, and you can still deal with the problem as well. But never losing yourself, you know, never losing that compassion that you had. You can still have that and still be able to move on in the most, you know, depressing circumstances. And especially today, you know, like seeing that is so good to me personally. Like I'm just here for it. That's what I love.
Absolutely. Now with Demon Slayer, and this is me just asking because I have no clue. Where do you watch Demon Slayer?
So I know that. Well, let's see. I think it's on Funimation or Crunchyroll because they announced, I think like on the 5th of December, that the new season starts of Demon Slayer. And I think it was through Crunchyroll and Funimation. Yeah, I believe those two. And that's how I'm able to see it.
Awesome. I'll have to check it out because it's one of those shows where it's one of the fandoms actually where I discovered it through people cosplaying, and then I was like, "What is this?" And where did this come from? Like the other one is Lore Olympus because I was like, "Why are people yellow and pink and blue and who are these characters? Like, what is this?"
Yes. Oh, I forgot to mention season 1 of Demon Slayer is on Netflix as well. So there.
Oh snap! I have Netflix. I can watch it.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I was trying to get my friend because she has like this like what I'm so notorious for that and guilty of that, a watch list of all these things I want to see, and I am slowly going down the list. And she has Demon Slayer on her list as well, and she's like, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I just need to have a time to devote that. And I said that's totally valid. I get it. But yeah, it's on Netflix. And yeah, like what you said about Lore Olympus, that's a webtoon. And that is super popular as well. Yeah. The characters with representing with different colors is really cool to see. You know, I haven't seen that on the Greek mythology been depicted like that before. And seeing that now, like, you know, and the aesthetic of it too is very pretty, to say the least. But yeah, that's also a really good series.
Another series that we're going to talk about, moving on from Demon Slayer, is a series that brought a lot of people together and then quickly divided. Well, not quickly, but the last season definitely was like a big. You loved it or you hated it. More people, I think, were on the hate side because it's definitely a fandom that disappeared for a while. It's coming back with a new show, I believe, this coming year, 2022, maybe. But you're into Game of Thrones, and
oh boy, yes.
how did you get into Game of Thrones? Was it like, did you read the books first? Were you a TV show watcher? Like, where did you get your start?
So I remember, believe it or not, I was about to show my age here because I had a birthday recently and I just turned 30. But I back like when they were kind of marketing the show, I was subscribed to Entertainment Weekly. And I remember seeing the ad. I opened up the ad and it said Game of Thrones, and you know, it gave that kind of air of mystery about it. Mm-hmm. And I saw, like, they at the time, because this was, you know, season 1, so they the ever moving, to this day the fandom still loves, and I'm myself included, Ned Stark. Ned Stark, my girl Daenerys Targaryen. I think they had Cersei, and then the last one was, I can't remember if it was Baratheon, or it had to be it had to be Robert Baratheon, and the way how they present it was very mysterious. And I am a sucker for like medieval. I love that so much. I love Lord of the Rings. So oh cool, what is this? But it presented it in a way like kind of like Lord of the Rings, but not like Lord of the Rings. What I'm saying there, it's more of a very heavily political show. How it was presented, it looked like it had a lot more of treachery and mystique to it than Lord of the Rings. I mean, Lord of the Rings is beautiful, I love it. But there's not that much, like you clearly know a side of good and evil, whereas in Game of Thrones, the way it's all sides, all sides are like have good and bad things, with them. And I like that a lot. I like where it's a gray area of these characters. And I saw that, in the Entertainment Weekly ad, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. This looks amazing. And then they gave like quotes of each character. And once I saw a quote about a dragon, I said, oh my God, I need to see this. So I was able to like actually, because we didn't have cable to HBO, so I was able to save money and actually buy the first season when it was finally released. And when the seasons were released, I started buying all the seasons. And when I first saw the character who I love, my favorite character in the show, even though I do love a lot of the characters because they're all so rich with personality, to say the least. But yeah, so once I saw the character of Daenerys Targaryen on screen, I saw that and said, I need to cosplay her. Now, I said that because the depiction of her was short. I'm a very short person. I saw her, and I know people are going to be like, what? Her eyebrows. Her eyebrows are thick and amazing, and I have serious eyebrows. And I said, oh my gosh, this is a character and a person that's got serious eyebrows like me. I have to cosplay her. So she was technically my first like serious cosplay, and I mean serious in the sense of for me personally, because I've always wanted to cosplay but didn't have any of like the materials or timing or outlets to do that. And I put my mind at work and said, she's going to be the first quote unquote official cosplay that I will do. And I did. I was able to pull off the dress that she wore in season 1, like when she's first introduced to meet the Khal Drogo. It's a very pretty dress. And I was able to find someone through my mother. Her colleague actually does sewing for fun. And I think she teaches classes. And she actually asked her opinion on about it, and she actually stated, oh, I can actually make that for you. And I went there with her, and she measured me and everything, and she actually made the dress for me. And I still have the dress. It's beautiful. And I will always be grateful and thankful for that. And that's when I first got serious with doing the Daenerys cosplay. And since then, it's kind of evolved because I haven't really, like, the first pictures of me as Daenerys, I was able to buy the wig last minute at a convention because I didn't have the wig at all. And I didn't have, like, a curling iron or anything, and the wig looked nothing like her. But, I was happy I had the wig. I had something, And
Right.
It was so exciting for me. And then, over the years, I was, saving money to get, another wig with the actual, like, curls and everything. And ironically enough, by, like, 2018, 2019, I want to say 2019, I finally got the whole thing together. So my first cosplay of Daenerys was, like, 2013. And over the course of those years, 2019 was when it finally came to fruition. And I wore that to a local convention, and I was actually able to meet my friend there because she's a photographer. She has her own company, Artistic Media and Artistic Pics. And she was like, "Oh my God, let me get a picture of you." And she took a picture of me. She took like 3 pictures of me, and even like the quality of it made it look so so professional. And I was like, oh my gosh, you took an actual cosplay photo of me. Oh my God. And that, to this day, it's like one of my favorite pics.
With Game of Thrones, are you straight up like, I love the Targaryens, or do you have a different house that you love, that you respect, that is your house?
I love the Targaryens, not gonna lie. It's hard because I love the Starks too, and that's what made it hurt even more at the end of season 8. That like I was like, oh, because the whole Targaryen line is like completely gone, and the Starks are thriving. But at the same time, you could totally understand the Starks because in the books too, and I know a lot of people say this, you know, like the books versus the show. I get it. I have the whole collection of the books, and I'm actually finally able to start the whole series, and I'm on book 1 right now. And the level of detail of, you know, the houses and mostly the Starks, because like in the first book it's heavily Stark, you know, and it gives you more of the background of them, and you know, all the other characters too, even characters you don't even know mentioned in the series eventually come up, you know. And with the Starks, you know, it's so easy to love them, you know. I do love the Starks as much, but it's just something about, I think something with the Targaryen is, to me personally, kind of hits kind of close to home, because it's the fact that, you know, their line is like completely gone, like they're the last of their name. Personally, it's just my mother and me. My mom and I are like the only ones that I have a real familial connection with. So I was like, you know, the Targaryens need to live, you know, the last of the name, come on, you know. And like her being the last one, her, you know, trying to do what's right by her family because they were wronged. And, you know, I think a lot of people can resonate with that, honestly. You know, you just want justice for your family and your name, and so close. And season 8 happened.
Yes, it did. Now, I know, you know, there's a new show that's going to be coming out soon. Will you be watching it, or has Game of Thrones, like, you know, is your trust gone with them and their shows?
Right. I am honestly on the fence about that, because even though, like, I am in that demographic of like, I can't anymore, I can't. Yet I still follow Game of Thrones on Instagram. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so hypocritical of me. I saw the updates of House of the Dragon, and I am so torn because I keep stating, I keep saying this like every day, or anybody. I feel so bad for people who are near me, because I'm like, oh God, there she goes again talking about it. But the fact too, because it's like a prequel, I know that much, about like how the Targaryens had their glory and everything. And I'm like, how are you going to talk about this house when you literally killed the house at the end of the series? So it's kind of like, no pun intended, a sword to the heart. And I'm just like, oh boy. But I feel like I will somehow see it.
I gotcha on that. I'll probably be watching it too, regardless of like whatever else. It's like, yep.
Right. I'm like, I'm not gonna see it. Then I eventually start seeing it. I'm like, ah.
The reason that we're talking today is I happened to stumble across, I believe somebody had shared one of your pieces on Instagram, one of your one of your pictures. I actually found it while we've been talking, and it is you as Daenerys
Oh
with a
wow.
little like orange dragon on your shoulder. They're back in like September of 2020, and that is the first time I followed you, and you're a cosplayer.
Yes. Yes.
How did you get into cosplay?
Well, I will be honest. Let's see. Believe it or not, back when I was around 11, I knew somebody that was really into the convention scene and the cosplay scene. I didn't know what it was at the time. So this was, I want to say around 2004, 2004, 2005. That somebody I knew was part of like we went to a daycare together. We all, grew up kind of together. And at this point, she was an adult and she was making her cosplay. Again, I had no idea what this was at the time. And she was like because we visited the daycare. And then I wandered in the back and I saw her painting something. And I was like, "Oh, what are you making?" And she said, "Oh, it's kind of a thing for a convention." And I'm like, "Oh, a convention?" And she says, "Yeah. It's one of those things that people go to dressed up as characters from shows and anime." She's like, it's kind of weird, but whatever. And I'm like, "Oh wow, that's amazing." And she was making her cosplay. I forgot which character she was cosplaying at the time, but she was right there doing it. And ever since then, that always kind of stuck in the back of my head because, I continued to go to school. Nobody would talk about it. And this was at a time when nobody would talk about anime or manga, comics, even cartoons, and cosplay, So no one really knew how much I loved this. And it wasn't until, I want to say, ninth grade. No. Oh gosh, I can't remember. I think it was 11th grade actually, where I met my friend in my art class in high school. And she said, "Hey, are you going to go to the convention this weekend?" And I said, wait, what? And she says, "Yeah, there's a convention." I'm like, "Wait, there's a convention here." And she said, "Yeah, yes." I had no idea. She's like, "Yeah, there's one on this weekend." I'm like, oh my gosh, what's it called? Now, here is where a lot of cosplayers are going to know. She said,
Okay.
Katsucon. And I said, "Oh, wow, that's so cool. I will try to make it." And she says, "Yeah, I'm going to be there. I'll be there," I think she said like Saturday and Sunday. And I had no idea or concept of how this works, And, Sunday comes and nobody had any idea how much I wanted to go. And then I kind of just casually said it like, "So there's a convention going on today." And my mom was like, "Well, I got stuff to do. What are you talking about? What's this convention?" And I said, "Well, I found out from my friend that there's an anime convention happening right here." And she's like, she's like, "Okay, I can check with your Aunt Mickey if she can take you." And she calls my aunt and she's like, "Yeah, I could take her." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you guys serious?" And then I get no idea. So we end up going to Katsucon, and along the way we see all these cosplayers, and I thought this was the most amazing thing ever to grace my eyes. Like, I was so thrilled, the excitement I had. And she was like, "Okay, I see this, And I'm over there like, "Oh my gosh, look at this is so and so, this is so and so, this is so and so." Now at the time, speaking of I know we were talking about earlier, a lot of Naruto cosplayers were there, and it was so amazing to see. I saw so many Naruto, so many Sakura, Sasuke, also Full Metal Alchemist, lots of that, and it was so fun to see. Now, I was unable to get a badge, but I was like in the lobby part of it, and because they have like an area, because it was at a hotel, and it's all, in my opinion, it's easier when it's at a hotel because like you can just go to the bar or like get
Right.
in the bar area if you're hungry. And unlike the convention floor where it's like there's like not that much access to
Yeah.
any of that at all, if at all. So it was cool to see, and I saw so many cosplayers. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so and so, that's so and so, that's so and so, you know. And from then on, you know, and then I was able to see my friend there, and I had the most amazing time of my life. It was so great to see her. She was like in her cosplay as well, and I was like, oh, you're so cool, you know, like I thought it was the most amazing thing ever. And ever since then, I was like, oh yeah, I want to do this like forever. And then I was like, I'm gonna cosplay next time. I am gonna dress up. And again, at the time, because this was like 2009, so it wasn't as prevalent as today. There were not many, you know, stores that had these items. You know, like if you were to find a cosplay, you were very lucky that some site had it. But most of the time, a lot of people made their cosplays, you know, or, you know,
Yeah.
did what they could, you know. And if you were lucky, like I said, even even like probably GameStop or the other kind of like niche stores would have something, but not the full cosplay. So like they probably have like the cute little jacket or whatever, and that's the closest you can get at the, you know, like versus today where literally so many cosplay sites are everywhere. And I was even amazed how many websites there were for cosplay. I like you've got CosFun, you've got ooh whoa whoa I don't know if I'm saying it right, cosplay, you got me, my costumes, I don't know how to say that either. Pro Cosplay, Cosplay Sky. I think there's other ones that but the point is, like, you know, all these stores already, and they have all these cosplays, and even like new cosplays that just, you know, a game or an anime was announced and it's already there. And so at the time, you know, back in like 2009, I was like, I'm gonna get this cosplay. I'm gonna try and get this and work for it, or, you know, find it somehow. Fortunately, I actually wasn't able to go in all out cosplay the following year for a convention, but it wasn't, like I said, Game of Thrones. And 2013 is when I officially bought the whole series, or like the first seasons that were out at the time. That's when I got serious about, you know, doing, like, going for the gold, if you will, of Daenerys. And ever since then, I was really serious about doing it, and then I've been, you know, saving money. And once I've seen some characters of anime or games or shows or whatever, I was like, you know, I want to cosplay that character, and I'll put it on the list and save money to get it. And when I'm able to get it, I am. And it's been fun ever since.
With cosplay, who are some of the favorites that you've done?
Okay, so at the moment right now, Daenerys is my favorite. I think I know people say this too in the community a lot. The comfort cosplay, I'd say she's my comfort cosplay. Followed by Tanjiro. I really love Tanjiro. He's fun to cosplay. I'd say Link is up there as well. And the one right now, because I'm so into that fandom, Lumine from Genshin Impact. So those are like the four right now that I'm really into doing.
Everyone has, like, cosplayers generally have their, like, cosplays they want to do ahead of time. Like, you know, they got the list of like who you want to do next and what do you have on the list. Who are some of the characters that you would love to cosplay either this year or, you know, even in the future?
Ooh, yes, this is a good question. So I want to cosplay Midna from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. She's on the cosplan list. I also want to cosplay. I think we did this. I forgot what I said recently, because it's something similar was asked on Twitter, saying, cosplayers, what's the dream cosplays you want to do? So Midna, yes, is on the cosplay list. I would say also, who's the other Princess Mononoke from there. What's her name? Sign? I forget her name. I have the movie. That's so sad. I have the movie. I forgot
Oh,
her name.
it's Son, isn't it?
Her, and let's see. Believe it or not, like Wasp from
Yeah.
Marvel. And yeah. And I'm still on that Resident Evil 8 high. What's her name? Mother Miranda from the Resident Evil game. Yeah, that's those are like some of the huge ones I want to do. But hopefully like Minna and the ones upcoming, I do have some more from like Demon Slayer and one from, I'm going to be serious with The Witcher, Yennefer, and hopefully also work more on Zatanna from DC Comics.
Now, how do you decide like which characters that you'd like to do? Is it more that you gravitate towards the character, or is it like the costume, or is it a mixture of both?
I feel like it's a mixture of both. I tend to gravitate towards like when I see a series or something. For instance, like actually, well, yes, I've always been like that. I start seeing a series and I see this character and the way how they act or like their mindset, their personality, I'm like, yeah, I vibe with this. And I'm like, I like their design too. I like their design. I like the way how they are. And I'm like, you know what? They're added to the list. They are added to the list.
You just made the list.
Exactly. And that's how I really get into it because I know like I started watching also another series that I'm surprised nobody really talks about on Netflix, Scissor 7. I started watching that and I got so into that. And I was like, I really like this character a lot. And that became the spur of the moment cosplay that I wore for Halloween. I was like, oh, that's the cosplay reveal, I guess. And that character is hilarious, and I got so into that show, and that's all it takes. That's all it takes for me, I guess. The character, the show itself, or the game or whatever, and how much, I guess, for me personally, like how much of that character is relatable or just likable, and that's how I do it.
Okay. Now, for people that have been listening to this episode and they want to check out the work that you do, what are the best places for them to find you out there on the internet?
I'd say I am active on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and let's see. There's like some other cosplay pages like Original Glaze, and apparently a new, apparently this is an old website, but they brought it back, called cosplay.com.
Yep.
I just made an account there like yesterday. So, yeah, and my username for all that, well, I think except for Twitter and TikTok, because it's different, is SpiderEyez. Just how it's spelled, SpiderEyez. And on TikTok it's with 2 Z's. I know these names are taken right now. But yeah, that's usually where I am, like on Instagram mostly, and Twitter and TikTok. I'm getting finally back into TikTok.
Okay. I will have all the links to Melinda's Instagram and TikTok, all the places that she is, will be in the links in the show notes and on the Facebook page and website. So that way, if you're listening and you want to go check out her work, you can do so just by clicking on the links. And Melinda, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule today to talk with me about Demon Slayer and Game of Thrones and cosplay. And, thank you for trusting me because this is like your first time doing this. So I appreciate it. And I hope you had a good time.
Thank you so much for having me, honestly. I did have a great time. This is really exciting. And I honestly see how so many people love podcasts. It's a really fun experience, honestly. It was great.
Thank you for listening to Tales from the Fandom. Subscribe to us on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/talesfromthefandom to see photos, links, leave feedback and check out upcoming guests. If you'd like to be a guest, email David at talesfromthefandom@gmail.com.